Także przechodzimy od razu do naszej fantastycznej zabawy. Ja sobie tylko okularki wyciągnę i jedziemy z koksem. Niestety odcinki z tej serii gier trafiają się troszeczkę rzadziej niż zwykle powinny się zdarzać. Z tego względu, że czasami, żeby pograć w to, naprawdę muszę się zmusić do tej gry, nie? Bez kitu. Ale wiadomo, już w ostatnim odcinku o tym wspominałem. Także jedziemy. Jesteśmy. Jest Mr. Jonathan. Teraz tak, bo my robiliśmy sobie chyba zadanie główne. O nie. Okay. Dobór nienaturalny. Pomóż członkom klubu Askan odeprzeć stróżliwie. Tak jest, dokładnie. W poprzednim odcinku wybiliśmy, że tak powiem, zlikwidowaliśmy to całe źródło zarazy. Więc teraz co by ci mi dało? Widzę, że mi brakuje troszeczkę strzykawek. Przydałoby się wejść gdzieś i przekimać. Po drodze będzie kryjówka. Zatem od razu sobie do niej podskoczymy, słuchajcie. Dobrze, tak. Kurczę, myślę, że tego się nie da, tak? Czwórkę się dawało, dobra. Okej. Zapomniałem już. Zapomniałem o tym. Widzicie, trochę czasu nie grałem. Ojej, już mam problemy z tym. Wydaje mi się, że ma kłopoty ten gościu, ale cóż. Zobaczmy dalej, czy tutaj... Bo tu gdzieś powinna być jakaś kryjówka, prawda? Właśnie, możliwe, że jej jeszcze nie odkryłem. Albo jest z drugiej strony. Nie, odkryłem już. No tak, rezydencja Reedów. Okej. Teraz mamy chyba 3000 punktów doświadczenia. Nie, teraz 6000 aż mamy. No to jest, słuchajcie, bardzo dużo. Musimy się przekimać, po prostu dokoptować sobie te punkty. Jest zablokowana? Gdzie? A, bo muszę mieć level od 24 wymagam. No jasne. Okej. Też mam zablokowany, bo jest 26 wymagany nawet. Możemy wykorzystać to w inny sposób. Na przykład możemy wziąć sobie ciało, stan zdrowia, sprawność fizyczną możemy sobie podrzucić. Mocne ugryzienie jest 150%. W czasie walki. A to jest lepsze. To byśmy usunęli w takim układzie. Nie, to musimy zresetować wszystko w takim układzie. Ups. Zresetowałem wszystkie punkty. OMG, nie chciałem tego zrobić, kurczę, miałem postać właściwie już tutaj ogarniętą. Gość ma pierwszy poziom. O kurde, słuchajcie, musimy sobie chyba zrobić wczytaj, bo tego nie wiedziałem, że tak można w ogóle. Jeszcze raz wejdziemy do gierki, bo po prostu jestem w szoku. Nie wiedziałem, że tak się stanie. Zrestartuję wszystkie kurcze punkty. Kilka minut musimy poczekać, ale już odpalam tego w Vampira. Vampyr. Tam nie było punktu kontrolnego, żeby zapisał gierkę, więc... Chyba, że nam zapisał tego restartu punktów. O nie, zapisał nam to. Ale masakracja, kurde. Wszystko musimy jeszcze raz robić. O Jesus Christ. No dobra, zrobimy sobie co? Teraz mogę tutaj, tak? Dobra. Miałem chyba około 25% z tego co pamiętam. Jeszcze. Chciałem przy czasie walki sobie zwiększyć to. Nie, to brałem, prawda? Korzystujesz więcej krwi, by natychmiast się uzdrowić. Zyskać dodatkowe przyspieszenie regeneracji poziom zdrowia, tak. Autofagię wybierałem. Jeszcze coś innego teraz. A, wiem co. Otrzymujesz punkty krwi, tak jest. Tu mieliśmy aż 4. poziom. Świetnie, udało nam się. Ja coś jeszcze tutaj brałem. A teraz to autofagię, tak. O i teraz wyszedł mi ten poziom punktów, o który mi chodziło. Kurczę, ale byśmy się wyrypali, słuchajcie. Stan zdrowia sobie podniesiemy nawet tutaj. Jak również kondycję, bo mieliśmy wyższą. Doszedłem dotąd, pamiętam, że już miałem to srebrne. Więc stan zdrowia też sobie wrzucimy. Już sobie zwiększyłem. I teraz co dalej, powiedzcie mi, bo ja to chyba chciałem, co? To młotkoń miałem jeszcze. Ale punktów mi brakuje. No i co, ogarniemy to sobie. Poziom drugi na razie mam tylko tego. Tej otchłani. A to nic, zwiększymy to sobie. O kurczę, teraz mi się rypnęło wszystko. Niestety, ale muszę wykorzystać te punkty, które mam akurat teraz. Więc bym sobie sprawność, widzę, że to podrzuciliśmy. Wydajność krwi ewentualnie możemy jeszcze zwiększyć do 1000. Damy sobie serum. Okej, zostaje nam tyle. Potwierdzamy to. A się wrypałem wtedy, kurczę. Okej. No. Oj, kodeiny mi zabrakło. Dużo opium mi brakuje. A nie możemy niczego rozłożyć na przykład? No dobra. Słuchajcie, mamy wszystko, wykorzystaliśmy jakoś te punkty. Już obawiam się, że zrypaliśmy to, ale to nic. Będzie, jakoś to będzie. Kurczę, wszystko mi się pozmieniało teraz. O no. Mogę zmieniać chyba, tak? O, tak, mogę to zmieniać. Miałem pod 4 w ogóle. O no. Słuchajcie, wszystko się pozmieniało. Jest. Co ja miałem pod 1? Co miałem? Pod 2, a pod 3 miałem to. Tak, to się nie zmienia.
Dare you interfere with my...
Co jest, kurde? 27 poziom miał gościu. No był dobry.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened to you?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reed, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
Pan Kimura. Proszę bardzo, jak ładnie sobie uzbierałem. Co tutaj? Nie, to jest historia klubu Ascalon. Dobra. miejsce.
Fresh water. As long as it's not holy water, I can find some use for it.
O, woda, którą możemy podać te kwiatki tam w tym. Kwiatek w naszej jakby miejscówce w szpitalu, z tego co pamiętam. Ja szukałem tej wody. Może go podobno podlać.
Sneak spotted! Watch out! Watch out, boys!
Ciekawe, oni nie mieli takiego niskiego poziomu. Gdzie w ogóle jestem? O, nie tam idę. Zawrócić. I my pomożemy im odepchnąć ten atak. Gdzie teraz? A, dobrze idę. Do klubu muszę podejść Askalon w ogóle.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind. It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury. Only
Taki
you
bajer.
can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reed. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
It's not here. O, tutaj. To jest na dole chyba. Mr. Jonathan Reed. Kurde, nie ogarniam.
Rumors say 2 cases of infection have been reported in Buckingham Palace. Good thing the king is...
To jest ten gościu.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lancebearer. Please tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
I'm just a doctor.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London.
Si.
For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
Czemu mam kogoś przemieniać?
I'm not sure I'm the best candidate for such a task.
I can hear the hesitation in your voice, Dr. Reed. I admire a man of principles. But in this matter, there is more at stake than your moral comfort.
It's not a moral question, Lord Redgrave. It's the responsibility of giving immortality to a man I barely know.
Nonsense. Aloysius has been a member of the Ascalon for years. This is but the fruition of a long-held plan.
How would you like me to
No,
proceed?
rozumiem już teraz.
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Before I go,
All right.
why Aloysius?
Because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then.
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
No to ci bajer, kurczę. Cześć, Piotrek. Witam serdecznie.
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
A to ci.
Is there any danger?
Our
Just-
blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
Goodbye.
Okej. Znaczy ja już to ogólnie...
Understand?
A, czyli to już wszystko, tak?
Goodbye, Lord.
Okej. A wszystko w porządku. Proszę, dziękuję bardzo. Mam nadzieję, że u ciebie tak samo wszystko ok. Ja na chwilę obecną, widzisz, zacząłem pykać sobie troszeczkę w wampira, bo już dawno nie pykałem. Także trzeba temat trochę ogarnąć. Chciałem to przejść, ale powolutku wszystko.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
Aloysius Dawson is the richest man in England. He'll be a very useful resource for the club.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
O kurde. Patrz, co jest w ogóle.
Please tell me more about your research.
As long as you lower your voice.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
No i teraz pytanie, co ja mam zrobić w ogóle z tym gościem?
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you
Zobaczmy.
be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall, and yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
Czyli ogólnie mamy dość konkretną mistyfikację przez tego gościa,
Goodbye,
lorda.
my dear. Please, be
Zastanawiam się
careful.
tylko co zrobić, czy go przemieniać tamtego, czy nie? Kurczę, ale chyba go przemienię po prostu. Jeżeli coś się będzie działo, to zawsze można go przecież zabić, tak? To nie jest problem raczej. Gratuluję Piotrze, że weźmie o Twitch Prime. Już ostatnio mi wspominałeś o tym, żeby sobie zakupić. Co tu zrobić? Czaję o co chodzi.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Okej, daleko na niego? 153 kroki, tutaj jest. No to wejdziemy sobie. No ciekawe jak to się teraz wydarzy. Czy będę mógł go kontrolować? Będę go uczył w ogóle? Być wampirem czy coś w tym stylu?
Best turn around if I were you. Steady, boys! Cross the lead! He's dead!
Gdzie są te? Tutaj leży. A wziąłem to. Dobra. Teraz następny jest tutaj.
Let's pin it down!
O kurde. Dawaj, krew. Dobrze. Ale mnie trafili. Co mi się poziom? Poziom trudności? A, bo on się... Okej, zaraz będzie po gościu. No i tam kurde trafiani. Dość ostro. Ja widzę, że podwyższyłem sobie energię i teraz już trudniej jest mnie zabić. Nie ma tak lekko jak było. A wcześniej to bagatelizowałem. Jak widać niesłusznie. Nie, tu. No teraz mogę na raz kogoś załatwić. Już mi wytrzymałość wzrosła. Ja zapominam o tym, że one wybuchają. Dobra, teraz możemy na raz kogoś załatwić. Ma wysoką wytrzymałość, więc damy radę. A tu będzie jest wampir. Skalowe są. Aha. Wow. Wow. Ja cię. Cholernie bloki. Ja pitole. Dawaj krew. Tak go wyssać teraz dobrze. W dobrą stronę w ogóle się poruszył. Panie. Gra. nie rozumiem cię Piotrze, co tu się denerwujesz, nie działa ci? Co ty gadasz? Może coś źle robisz po prostu. A, że reklamy są dalej, tak? Może ci się odpali za jakiś czas. Że po prostu wiesz, z automatu nie działa tak od razu. Jestem wampir. Teoretycznie mógłbym iść tam, ale ja się i tak zmierzę z nim, bo on jest dobry na maksa. Uczy ci coś? Łe, tam. Oglądaj streama. Wow. Ten jaką ma moc. Co ma poziom? O kurde. Nice. Cześć Piotrze, trzymaj się. Ucz się pilnie. Następnym razem jak coś to zagramy jakieś duo Fortnite'a. Okej, gdzie jesteśmy? Tutaj w tym miejscu. Ej, łatwo go rozwaliłem. Teraz tak, musimy się cofnąć troszeczkę. Znaczy możemy iść chyba tędy, z tego co zauważyłem, czy nie? Nie bardzo. A nie, możemy chyba, tak? Tędy się idzie, czy nie? Jest jakieś przejście tajemne? Nie. O kurde, drugi list. Nice.
I had almost forgotten I applied for a position at Pembroke. It was so long ago.
No proszę bardzo. Nawet nie wiedziałem. Sam o tym zapomniał. Wszystko się zaczęło od Pembroke. O, tutaj będę szedł. Teraz powinno się chyba odblokować, tak jest. My go przemienimy, tego gościa.
It's locked, all right.
God
I
damn
should
it.
find another way to get into the neighborhood.
Co ty nie powiesz, Jonathan? Tak jest skonstruowana ta gra. Najgorsze jest też tam na górze jest gościu i może nas rypnąć, nie? What? Gościu. Wow. Raczej nie sądzę. O kurde. Na górze jest jeszcze jeden gościu. Nie wiem jak tam się dostać. Tu jest coś zamkniętego. Ślepego
A
smoka
restaurant
zapyta.
where the guests are blindfolded before being seated.
A tu już zrobiłem tą misję, przekazałem tą informację temu gościowi jednemu. O, tu jest wejście na górę. No to hop. Jesteśmy. O. Kurczę, ale jest silny. No. Nie ma pieniędzy żadnych? Nie ma. Porządna dubeltówka. Nice. Chciałem zejść na dół i tu można pewnie odblokować sobie drzwi. Kasa, hajsy, bardzo dobrze. Beware. Beware. Tak to się chyba mówi, nie? Beware, czyli strzeżcie się. No to wbijamy. Skalę. Dał tu? Tak. A. A kurczę. Tylko spoko, ale tutaj miałem za mało miejsca, żeby...
More braille. I should
Oh.
bring this to Mason Swanborough.
Lekarstwo na ślepotę. No proszę bardzo. Tylko ostatni list Braille'em napisany. Zaniesiemy mu to oczywiście. Teraz będziemy robić tę misję, tylko na razie sobie tylko przeszukam wszystko. Cóż tu mamy za wyjście? Aha, to jest to miejsce, no to tutaj właśnie szukałem. A tu nie da się nigdzie wejść już. Nie, czyli to jest inne miejsce w ogóle. No właśnie, teraz jesteśmy w Temple Gardens. A nie. I tędy musimy iść, no dobra. Myślę, że tam na górze się da przejść, ale widzę, że musimy iść dalej prosto. Gdzie jesteśmy teraz? Bo przewróciliśmy się. Te drzwi są zablokowane, więc musimy iść w jakiś inny sposób. A wiem, którędy. Na zdrowie, konie. Jedziemy jeszcze raz do parku. Przejdziemy na koniec tego parku, bo ja pamiętam, że tam można wejść jakby do piwnicy, coś takiego, nie? No właśnie, omijające palisady kwarantanny i tam będzie można wejść na samo dno, tak, czyli na sam dół. Może tutaj? No tutaj byłem, tak. Idziemy na samą górę. Tu był ten wampir taki, kozacki, którego tutaj jeszcze nie, tu byli skalowie. A tu był ten Monsieur Vampir, którego położyłem bez większego problemu. O, i tutaj schodzi się, o właśnie tutaj. To chyba będzie tędy właśnie. Teraz to ogarniemy. Ja tutaj nie schodziłem, chyba. A nie wiem, czy to nie prowadzi do skalów.
It's locked.
Nie z tej strony.
Your blood is now mine.
Co jest?
Give me up. Your blood. Is now.
Oj! Ojej.
Kneel, traitor. I will trap.
Nie to. Nie! Kurde, ale jest silny. Kurde no. OMG, co to było w ogóle? A był potężny, 32 poziom. Czyli chyba dobrą stroną idę, dobrą drogą. Co ja dostałem w ogóle za to? Historia i misje klubu Ascalon. Chyba było to. Tak naprawdę, ale gość był naprawdę... Naprawdę, nie? Konkret był. W ogóle chyba zacznę rozwijać sobie tą... zacznę sobie rozwijać tą właśnie...
This is despicable. It's locked, all right.
Ulepszę sobie ten skalpel, który mam, bo naprawdę może mi dać dużo. I dobrą stroną idę raczej. W ogóle jakiś gość leżał i miał coś przy sobie. Tak mienił ładnie.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Niestety. O proszę, sobie odblokowałem drzwiczki. Bardzo mnie to cieszy. A tu nic nie ma, tak po prostu, tak? Miejsca, dobra. Dostałem jakąś ikonkę, widzę. Czyli kogoś tam już kryliśmy.
It's locked.
Aha, czyli znowu mamy zagadkę logiczną. Jakiś mostek mi się uniósł. Oto. A, wykasuje się raz. O kurczę. O kurde. Nie, przestań mi, kurczę, tutaj. A! Dobrze. Okej, jeden leży. Drugi też. Muszę wziąć serum regeneracji, te mocniejsze, bo też wykorzystałem. Kurde, ale ładnie sobie poradziłem. O, nic dostałem. Nic jest ciężko zdobyć. Dużo rzeczy tam dostałem.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
A tędy mam iść.
Londoners are no match for me.
Wow! Co jest, kurde? O, prowadzę na bieżąco pamiętnik. Przegłodzę, wtedy zrozumie, że jestem jedną opcją. Nice. Kurczę, moi drodzy, zapomniałem, że... No właśnie, zapomniałem zmienić, kurczę, wygląd streama na wampirowski. Ale to nic takiego. I cóż, wampira zabiłem. O matko, ty tak ostro sobie szalał. Gościu w tych kanałach.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Mógłbym już zahipnotyzować i zeżreć, ale...
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. And be careful. Until we meet again.
Skoro przeżyła, nie? Okej, ładnie wszystko zeżarłem.
I have this thirst for blood.
Misję zrobiliśmy bardzo ładnie, tu nic więcej nie ma. Przejdziemy się jeszcze tutaj, zobaczymy. Dobra. Otworzyć tam jakieś, tak? Ale co niestety działa jako atrapa bardziej. Wow. Mr. Jonathan Reed. A, czyli tu już weszliśmy. To było to miejsce. Tu musimy blokować. Co za ludzie?
Too many murders to investigate them all.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already...
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only...
Do you need my...
No.
Okej.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out who we are that changes us.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
But what were you doing?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
O, przepraszam, to dziwne.
What can you tell me?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Goodbye, Mr.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing?
I'm conducting an investigation.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
Do you need
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
What are you investigating?
I currently have a few missing persons cases. Mr. Tadao Kimura and Miss Louise Teasdale.
Okej, pan Louis
I'm
znaleźliśmy.
afraid they may have been abducted by my mysterious maniac.
Tell me about Louise.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted.
Tell me about Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kimura is a businessman who has been missing for a few days.
Też już się
Didn't go
znalazł.
home, didn't go to work, didn't go back to his family.
Where was he last seen?
Mamy wszystkich.
What can you tell me about this?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer.
What killed?
I'm not going to discuss that with a civilian.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting?
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor?
Okay.
What?
I'm not going.
Haven't I told you?
All right, without.
What?
I'm not going to
That's
discuss
true.
that with the.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
Okej. Okej. Że coś przeoczyliśmy.
What are you?
I told you. I'm a.
Do you work?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are...
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to...
Why are you...
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are...
Does the name Fergal ring a bell?
Of course it does. Fergal Bansha, the Butcher of Galway.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal...
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you...
I currently have...
What are you...
I told?
Do you work...
Yes,
What about...
I know.
Przecież mu nie mogę opowiedzieć o tych rzeczach, okej?
Do you know anything in particular about a man?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Too many murders to investigate them all, but they will not be forgotten.
Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Why do I always have feelings of day?
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man could help us leave this city once and for all.
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
Goodbye, Mr.
Nie tego.
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan.
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
Do you need my...
I would appreciate some sunshine right now, but otherwise...
Who are you?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse?
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
I'm afraid I'm not following you.
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you are not in your place?
Dobra.
What can you tell me?
You should ask that question to my brother instead.
Okej.
May I ask?
I don't know. You should ask.
You must have your own.
From what I have managed to understand,
What can you tell?
it's the only place I've considered myself happy.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Good for you. It's a good...
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
What can you tell me about...
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very...
Okej.
Goodbye for...
Hello again, Doctor.
Goodbye for... Good evening, Mr. Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive
Agamemnon.
sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the...
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He's always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Sekundę.
Perhaps London will survive the epidemic.
No,
But I see
wypełniamy sobie.
terrible trials awaiting in the future.
It's locked.
Jak wykleję pewnie z jego krew, to pewnie się odblokuje wszystko.
Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell...
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
I would rather not know. May I ask you...
Of course. But I must warn you that...
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then. A strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who found...
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Do you require...
I'm fine, thank...
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several...
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
What can you tell me?
I really don't know. I don't often...
So you see nothing in the stars for me?
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only concern you.
Read my foot.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt.
Winy, niestety. Nasz Jonathan cały czas się czuje winny, prawda?
Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I'm for most a charlatan.
Some believe you to...
Guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke it.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters.
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
For how long have you...
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time. Sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Can you read...
Are you sure you want to know what they...
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Here.
The Sorceress. A heart-shaped trap built to entangle a loved one. Mirrors on every wall to see her own reflection constantly.
Can you read the...
Put the money on the table.
To może kiedy indziej. Patrz na chwilę obecną.
Until we meet again.
I rarely wander. A red river, a song in the dark, the whispers of a sun. So many signs to interpret.
Weźmy jeszcze kolejną misję od niego. Mi się wydaje, że tu jest coś kurczę fajnego. Na razie nie mogę znaleźć tę jego rezydencję, ale myślę, że to już niedługo. No to kryjówka. Jeszcze chyba nie odblokowałem w ogóle. A, już odblokowałem. Dobra. Podejmij brakuje. Teraz tak, dobrze było zrobić coś takiego jak ten porządny sztylet, albo używany noża mutacji daje 3, a to już 10 aż, nie? 10, 12, 15, okej, a... 15. No to już mamy ogólnie ogarnięte to wszystko. I tu masz 25 absorpcji punktów. To jest bardzo dużo, nie? Ten sztylecik. Ja go sobie, ogólnie sobie go zostawię, bo on się przyda naprawdę, nie? Na jakieś takie większe walki czy coś, to będzie kozacki. Co, przekimamy się chyba. O nie, jeszcze nie teraz. Mamy 3000 punktów, ale jeżeli się przekimamy i zrobimy sobie poziom kolejny, to stwory nam się znowu wszędzie zrobią, nie? I to jest bez sensu trochę. Ale spróbujmy przez chwilę bez tego. Fajna muzyczka. Jak ktoś kiedyś oglądał taki program znaczy serial na HBO, to się nazywał... W jakimś szpitalu to było, musiałem sobie przypomnieć, na następnym odcinku wam powiem, jak to się nazywało. Ale bardzo dobra produkcja właśnie o historii lecznictwa w takim okresie jak tutaj Vampyr, nie? Aż tutaj stąd wychodzę niestety, więc raczej się... O właśnie, to jest moja kryjówka, prawda?
It's locked, all right.
All right. Wylądowałem z powrotem tutaj, w tym miejscu. Establishment. Okej, to chyba tutaj.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Do you need my...
Oh no, I'm fine, Doctor.
What can you tell...
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Tell me more.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Really? Have I changed that much?
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome. Just
Have you...
other than you coming...
Tell me, Carolyn, do you often wound or hurt your daughter by mistake?
No. I always thought it was Carol's clumsiness that caused these incidents. Maybe it's a family trait, Doctor.
You really believe it's just bad luck and being clumsy, then?
Of course, Doctor. What else could it be? I have nothing to hide.
Jasne.
Does your daughter still worry?
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's...
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be.
You have every reason to be...
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Do you know...
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though.
Did he buy something?
No, he left quickly.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
May I look at your goods?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reed. Take all the time you need.
Dobrze, trochę tutaj ma fajnych rzeczy. Będę do niej przychodził. A na razie to nie ma sensu.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
No może. A stąd przyszedłem.
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. Go on, off you trot. It's a leech! Kill it! He's dead!
Nice. Czyli chyba to tutaj wchodzimy. To jest ta rezydencja tego gościa. Tak? Pepe, nie? Ciebie też ka. Pijamy. Aż może jak to jakieś poukrywane rzeczy są. Niezła rezydencja, nie? Jedno gość jest w sumie najbogatszym człowiekiem w Londynie, no to nie masz co mu dziwić. Chociaż z tego co pamiętam, co mi wspominał, to on nie chciał być wampirem. Nie myślał o tym, że w ogóle stać się wampirem.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains. Am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
No chatę ma, muszę przyznać, kurde. Pani siada.
Reduced in rank for falsely accusing a man of murder. I wonder what Inspector Albright thinks about his punishment.
Ale chata. Naprawdę jest kozacka.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Finally, you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Believe me, there is a huge difference between reading about vampires and waking up as one. I learned that myself the hard way.
Oh my God, man, stop your whining. I don't have time for your pointless jibber-jabber.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Ja raczej go przemienię.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London, I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen, as long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
O, czyli coś za bardzo mi się nie podoba i chyba go nie przemienię w ogóle.
By doing so, you will also create two separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Listen to me, Aloysius Dawson. You will forget your fear of dying, for it has poisoned your mind and made you bitter and ruthless since the death of your twin brother.
You don't understand. Death is oblivion, the eternal void. I know there's nothing there. I saw it in Robert's empty eyes. I saw myself in that coffin.
Death is painful for those who remain, not for those who have passed. All that occult gibberish you filled your head with has made you forget this simple truth.
No! Death will not claim me. I have the power and the money. I've acquired the arcane knowledge needed. I believe there is magic, there are dark forces. You will provide me my extension.
Your ignorance makes you a fool. You have no idea. Look at me. Hunted like a beast, my family lost, cursed. I have not escaped death, I have become it.
No, there must be a way. I don't want to go like my brother did. I have money, lots of money.
Money won't ease your mind. I know you used to be a good and generous man. So I offer you the gift of peace, Aloysius. The tranquility of a true death.
I accept your offer. And I understand. No more fear, I will die a man of dignity. And a man at peace.
Już pozwoliłem mu umrzeć. No byłoby zbyt niebezpieczne.
It's locked, all right.
Zbyt niebezpieczny po prostu próbował zbudować mur. Przedzielić Londyn biednych od bogatych, to było... O kurde, już tu jest. Nie mam przesrane.
Is it done, Dr. Reed? Is Aloysius Dawson reborn as expected?
I'm afraid Mr. Dawson finally chose to embrace life and death as a mortal.
What do you mean?
He has overcome his fear of dying. I let him rest and wait for death to come.
What? This is unacceptable. Go back there and make him the powerful Ekon he's destined to be.
No, Lord Redgrave. As a doctor and as an immortal, I can't. If you wish to make him your progeny, then proceed on your own.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished. You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rats.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor, and take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
Wszystko. Okej. Zatem dziękuję serdecznie za dzisiejszy odcinek. Zapraszam na następny wkrótce. Myślę, że w ciągu tygodnia spokojnie się pojawi kolejny odcinek. Dziękuję wam serdecznie. Muszę przyznać, że sporo się działo w tym odcinku, więc zapraszam do następnego w przyszłości. Także do zobaczenia następnym razem.